Well, now that students have signed in and taken a quiz, I want to see how they've done. So I'm going to look at some results, and this is more for your information. This is probably not things that you want to project up on the smartboard for students to see, but so that you can get information about specific students, how they've done. So I'm going to go over on the title page to the Smart Response tab, and when I have results clicked, that middle section, I'll be able to see the same information I did before with correct and incorrect responses question by question. But now I can, on the details, instead of seeing anonymous students' grades, I will see specific students' names, if they've passed or failed with the green checks and the red X's, their grade, how long they took on this quiz. So again, probably not something you want to project on the smartboard for your class, but this is more for your information to see how they've done. You can also go question by question, just like you did before. You have the pie graph of how many correct and incorrect responses, what percentages you have, or the bar chart, the same information. But again, now our details show specific students who had this question right, who had it wrong, how long they took on this particular question. And you can get all this information for every single question in your quiz. So now you see specific students' information. This will tell you if you have a specific student that's having trouble with more than one question, if you have students that are struggling with one specific concept or just overall. So some more specific information based on students, and you can now go address those particular concerns or difficulties that those students are having. So it gives you a lot more detailed information. In addition to being able to see the results here on the actual Smart Notebook, if you bring back your teacher tools, where you had your class list and your teacher or your student ID numbers, you can look at more specific information as well. And right now it says stop class. My class is still going. That little green dot is beside block one. I probably want to stop the class so students can't sign in. This is probably something I don't want students to look at. This is something I'd want to be doing on my own time anyway. So I'm going to stop class. And now I can see that this class is not started, and I can go to the Students tab. I obviously can't see anything. Privacy off allows me to see, again, their IDs, their names. But now I can see, now that we've taken a quiz, I can see their averages, and I can see what they did on this quiz. Their average is going to be, if I give more than one quiz, what their average is of all of those quizzes combined. And then I will be able to see specific details about every single quiz that I give, what their grades are. And you can see that the students who didn't make a passing grade based on what I set up at the beginning, I set my passing grade at 70. Students who fell below that, they're flagged in red. That just gives me a very nice, easy indicator that I can see very quickly who is having difficulty with this concept. So I can see this information, but if I want to see some more specific information, the Assessment tab, I can see all the assessments that I've given. Right now I've just given this one. If I click on that specific assessment, I can see the properties of that assessment, what the class average is. Under Performance, I'll get this basically the same kind of graph that I got on the Smart Notebook, so I don't have to worry about saving that or erasing that. It's here already in my teacher tools. And under Results, I can see specific students and what their grade was. So now I still have the same information again. And I'll be able to go see this information for any of my classes. Under Reports, this gives me some reports that I can print out for students. So I can do student report or class performance, pick which class. If I'm doing a student performance one, I can pick a specific student. Report period, I can pick dates to choose between, so I could do all year or for a certain quarter or for a certain unit that we're studying. Pick all the assessments, or I can pick specific ones if I just wanted to do a certain unit or something. And then I'm going to create that performance report. And now I have a PDF file of a student performance report, so I can see what Marie's done. And it gives me a lot of information. It gives me her average and the class average. It gives me, this will be a line graph, so after I've given more than one quiz, I can see how the results over time have changed for that student and the class. By topic, so under cells, I now have some information for Marie on how she's done compared to the class average on that one. I can also do a class performance report, so I can get information about specific classes. So if I want to do block 1, and again pick my range dates, pick all my assessments or just certain assessments, and if I create this report, I now get a nice PDF file of block 1 and how they've done on this assessment. So I can get my subject, how they've done overall. I'll be able to see over time how they've changed over time by topic. So when I've done more different topics, I can see their averages there. I can even see by student. I have a bar graph of all the different students. So you can see that there's a lot more information once students have signed in and used student IDs that you'll be able to get information from your teacher tools and from your smart response system that will give you a lot of wonderful feedback for you to use for continuing your topics, for addressing issues that might be strengths or weaknesses for your students, for determining if you need to go back and reteach any topics. Just a wealth of information for you to use with your students now that you can see specifically how students have done. So I hope that you've enjoyed learning about the Smart Response System, how to use it. Definitely I hope you see some benefits of using the Smart Response System. And if you go on my website, if you go to additional resources, you'll be able to find some further tutorials if you want to go further. You can also find some places where you can download some pre-made SMART assessments so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel for everything. You can see what other people are doing with this. So I hope you enjoy using the Smart Response System, and I hope you feel very good at using it now.